Before humanity tamed fire, the earth was a realm of ice and shadows. Nights were merciless, endless stretches of darkness where wind screamed through frozen canyons like a living beast. The tribe huddled together, stone tools useless against the cold, animal skins stiff with frost. Safety was an illusion. Survival meant constant movement and fear. Predators lurked unseen, but the true enemy was the dark itself, a silent, devouring force that swallowed warmth, hope, and rest. Humanity's first battle was not against nature, but against night as dusk descended. Fear gripped every heart. The fading light felt like life itself slipping away. Children whimpered as the horizon swallowed the last glow of day. Their fragile fire, stolen from a lightning strike, hissed weakly before dying. Darkness returned, vast, merciless, alive. From the distance came roars and glowing eyes, reminders that humans were not yet masters here. Inside the cave, they whispered stories to explain the terror, spirits, beasts, unseen forces that ruled the night. But this fear was more than myth. It was instinct, the first flicker of awareness that would one day lead to civilization. One stormy night, the heavens split open. Lightning tore across the sky, striking the forest below and igniting a wall of flame that devoured everything in its path. The tribe watched from the cliffs, terrified, yet unable to look away. The inferno roared louder than any predator they had ever known. The rain hissed against it, but the fire refused to die. When dawn came, smoke rose like ghosts above glowing earth. One hunter stepped forward, trembling, and lifted a burning branch. Pain seared his skin, yet wonder filled his eyes. The tribe gasped. The sun had fallen to earth, and they had captured it. Carrying the flame home was an act of courage born from wonder. The tribe moved through rain and wind, shielding the fragile spark beneath hides and trembling hands. Every step was a battle against the elements, every breath a prayer. When they reached their cave, they placed the branch upon dry wood, and the darkness bloomed into light. Shadows danced along the walls, and faces once hidden came alive. For the first time, humanity saw itself illuminated, not by the sun, but by its own creation. The fire burned through the long night, its glow holding back the darkness. No beast dared to cross its light. No cold touched their skin. The tribe watched in silence, faces bathed in gold, seeing something divine within the flames. For the first time, the night had retreated, and when dawn came, humanity's light had truly begun to rise. The tribe had captured fire. Yet to keep it alive was a battle of faith. The flames needed constant care, to be fed, guarded, and never forgotten. From this devotion rose a sacred role, the firekeeper. One young woman stayed behind as hunters vanished into the wild, her gaze fixed upon the embers. Every spark seemed to breathe, every crackle whispered meaning. She learned its language, the hiss of damp wood, the sigh of fading heat. To her, this was no mere flame. It was a living spirit, a force that bound warmth, survival, and the soul of humanity. In the frozen mornings of the Stone Age, fire stood at the center of every life. The tribe gathered around it as dawn painted the plains in pale light. Within a ring of stones, the flame burned, steady, sacred, eternal. It was warmth against the cold, safety against the dark, and spirit against despair. Around its glow, hunters mended their wounds, elders told stories, and meat transformed into nourishment. The young woman who guarded it fed the embers with moss, bark, and quiet prayer. To the tribe, the flame became an ancestor, a living soul linking past and present. And she knew, with solemn truth, that if the fire ever died, so too would their hope. That night, the sky turned against them. Thunder rolled like the growl of ancient beasts, and wind howled through the forest with merciless fury. The tribe rushed for shelter, clutching their children, but one stayed behind, the firekeeper. Rain lashed her face as she fell to her knees before the flame, shielding it with trembling hands. The sacred fire hissed, choking under the storm's breath, shrinking to smoke. Panic rippled through the tribe. Their protector was dying. She dragged heavy hides over the pit, pressing her body close, defying the cold and rain. Hours passed. Her lips whispered to the fading glow, words of hope, of defiance, of devotion. The first human prayer ever spoken to fire. When dawn broke, the storm was gone. The world lay drenched and silent. No birds, no whispers of flame, only the ghost of smoke rising from cold ash. The woman knelt beside it, hands trembling, cradling a single ember glowing faintly in the grey light. She leaned close, breathing life into its fading heart. A spark flared, then fire bloomed anew. Gasps filled the cave as warmth returned. The tribe gathered, eyes wide with reverence. Soot-marked and exhausted, she smiled softly. In that moment, fire was no longer a mystery of nature. It had become humanity's first act of creation. From that day, she was no longer a hunter or healer. She was the mother of flame each dawn. The tribe gathered to bow before the fire, their hands raised to its glow. What once was survival had become faith. The flame was spirit, memory, and guide. Humanity's first worship began. Born from one woman's sleepless devotion, the fire blazed proudly, a golden heart beating against the endless dark. Around it, laughter echoed where once there had been silence and fear. Humanity had stolen a fragment of the night and made it its own. Yet, beyond the glow, the wilderness stirred. Predators watched, lions with burning eyes, wolves weaving through shadow, hyenas pacing restlessly. The strange light angered them, defied their ancient dominion. For countless ages, they had ruled the darkness unchallenged. But now, for the first time, something weaker had found the courage to stand in their domain. As dusk thickened, the forest came alive with silence. Then, eyes, dozens of them, gleaming gold at the edge of the fire's glow. The hunters saw them first, then the children. Spears lifted, but hands shook. Low growls rumbled through the dark. The predators circled, patient and hungry. The fire snapped, throwing long, trembling shadows across the cave walls. For all their newfound light, courage was still fragile. Then one man stepped forward, lifting a burning branch high. The predators flinched. Their world of darkness recoiled. And in that single heartbeat, humanity discovered something new, the fire's power to command. The night erupted in chaos. Hunger drove the predators forward, their roars slicing through the dark as they charged the camp. Panic spread like wildfire. Shouts, snarls, the clash of stone against fang. Spears flew, but it was the fire that changed everything. Flames surged, hissing and alive, as the tribe swung burning branches into the void. The beasts recoiled, eyes wide with confusion at this new, unbearable light. A hyena lunged too close and met a blazing strike, the air filled with the stench of burnt fur. Fear broke like a dam. The tribe encircled the fire, no longer fleeing, but fighting. Their first stand against the darkness. The battle raged in a blur of heat and fear. Sparks leapt like stars, spinning through the smoky air as burning branches carved fiery arcs. The beasts faltered, blinded and terrified by this living light that bit back. Step by step, they retreated into the trees, their growls swallowed by darkness. Silence fell, broken only by the crackle of flame. The tribe stood trembling, eyes wide, faces glowing in victory's light. In that instant, something changed forever. With fire in their hands, humanity had conquered the night. Morning came in silence. The beasts were gone, their tracks fading into the mist. Around the dying embers, the tribe stood in awe. Fire had triumphed where strength could not. It had turned fear into power. As sunlight broke across the plains, they understood. This was no mere survival. This was the dawn of human dominion. Generations had passed since that first spark was stolen from the storm. Now, every tribe carried fire not as a mystery, but as the center of their world. The hearth glowed at night, a living heart around which life itself revolved. Faces shimmered in its light, hunters, children, elders, all bound by its warmth. Beyond its reach, the wilderness still waited. But here, inside the circle, fear had no power. Around these flames, food was cooked, stories shared, tools forged, and trust born. Fire was no longer mere survival. It was belonging, the first heartbeat of human civilization. As the long nights deepened, fire became more than warmth. It became remembrance. Around its steady glow, the elders gathered, their faces carved by time, their voices deep as the earth itself. They spoke of the first fire, of storms and courage, of the ancestors who dared to steal light from the sky. Their hands moved in rhythm, shadows leaping on cave walls like restless spirits. Children watched in silence, eyes wide, hearts learning before words could teach. In that dance of flame and story, imagination was born. Knowledge no longer lived in muscle and instinct, but in memory. The tribe began to dream, and in those dreams, humanity's first spark of culture flickered into life, day after day. Life now centered around the hearth. Hunters returned from the plains, their hands heavy with the hunt's reward, and the tribe gathered to share the warmth of both fire and triumph. Meat sizzled, laughter rose, and the flames painted faces with the color of life itself. Around this glow, arguments cooled, plans for the next dawn were shaped, and silence turned to companionship. The fire became the tribe's teacher, showing them the strength of unity, the grace of sharing, the rhythm of trust. Even children learned to feed its embers, for in keeping the flame alive, they were truly learning to keep each other alive. One night, Distant lights shimmered beyond the hills, the glow of another fire. The tribe froze. For generations, the unknown had meant only danger. Yet curiosity stirred where fear once ruled. At dawn, they approached, hearts pounding, weapons ready, but eyes searching. Two tribes met beneath a silent sky, the air thick with caution. Then an elder stepped forward, holding out roasted meat across the flame. The strangers hesitated, then accepted. Words followed gestures, and soon laughter replaced fear. Around the fire, they shared warmth, stories, and kinship. What began in uncertainty became understanding. The flame that once divided humanity now united it. Seasons turned to centuries, and still the hearth burned. From cave to hut, from wandering tribes to settled villages, its glow never faded. Around it, the first homes rose, the first temples stood, and humanity learned to live as one. The fire circle became the heart of every community, the spark from which civilization was born. Smoke rises from an ancient hearth, curling upward like memory itself. That first spark, once stolen from the storm, has never truly gone out. Across ages, it has burned in countless forms, torches lighting Roman streets, oil lamps guiding traders through deserts, candles glowing in medieval stone halls. What began as survival became progress, invention, civilization. Every flame, from campfire to forge, carried the same spirit forward, the will to create, to endure, to dream. The ember of the Stone Age lives on, reshaped, but never extinguished. We return to the beginning, to the storm that first split the sky, to the guardian who shielded the embers through the night, to the moment fire conquered the beasts. These memories, once survival, became myth. Fire taught humanity not just to endure, but to protect, to create, to dream. Though centuries reshaped its form, the spirit remained in torches raised at ceremonies, in candles flickering beside the dead, in hearts that still burn within our homes. Each flame carries an echo of that first spark, a reminder that our light was born from struggle, faith, and endless hope. The flame transforms. The ember of the ancients ignites into the roaring blaze of human achievement. The molten forges of the Bronze Age, the torches that guided empires, the lanterns of discovery, the electric glow of modern cities. Darkness, once the master of Earth, is banished by human hands. Towers shimmer with electric veins, highways gleam like rivers of fire, and satellites drift above, tiny embers circling the stars. Humanity has not left fire behind. It has merely evolved it. That same primal spark, once clutched by trembling cave dwellers, now illuminates entire worlds. The flame has conquered the night and become civilization itself. The story returns to silence, a single flame trembling against the dark. Its glow is gentle now, yet eternal. The voice softens, carrying the weight of millennia. The fire that once burned in the heart of the tribe still burns within us, in every home, every invention, every dream that defies the dark. The flame pulses like a heartbeat, fading slowly into the vastness of night. Humanity's journey, from fear to mastery, from caves to stars, comes full circle. The eternal fire endures, not in embers or ash, but in the human spirit that forever refuses to fade.